So when I went sober 4 years ago, I already knew this was for life. I mean, I can't look in the future, but it felt as such the right thing to do. After that, I ended up in a gambling addiction, and then I would know even more that I have to quit vices. I have to work on that part of my life. To be honest, the gambling addiction was the worst addiction for me. I really went in hard. I forgot my whole world. I forgot what was important in my life. I skipped sleeping. I never did that. I mean, when I was sober. But I was a year sober, and then that gambling addiction came, and yeah, a lot of challenging stuff happened. But if you would tell me 4 years ago that I would still be sober, I still would have known. I still would have known, because I made such contact with the pain of being an addict. I had so clear what it was doing to me that I knew I had to let go. And I already made contact with that pain when I did my first Vipassana center, or when I did my first Vipassana meditation. I felt peace for the first time in my life. They explained the harm of alcohol, that it never stays with one glass of alcohol, so therefore they would recommend to skip all alcohol, and that made so much sense for me that that seed was planted there. Yeah, there were some times that I regret going to Vipassana, because I started being so conscious, and I started being in like a prison in my head, because I already knew that I had to let go of alcohol. I was still struggling with my social life and the social aspect it was bringing me. So there was one part of me that, maybe you recognize this, that was already so clear that I had to let go of alcohol, drugs, treating my body as a graveyard instead of the temple that it is. But then you end up in the process of letting go, and some people can let go of something right away without having troubles, and of course it depends on the situation, but for me it was a process of multiple years before I reached that moment that I finally let go of alcohol and drugs. And beforehand I was already sober longer and longer, but I always felt back because I didn't know how to be social, and I still struggle sometimes because it's so normal to drink, it's so normal to socialize and drink a beer, and when you are a bit sensitive for addictions, that one beer can always lead to more. And for me it started with one beer, and it always at a point in my life ended up with multiple beers and drugs and skipping sleep and binge eating, because I felt so terrible the days after. So I would cover that pain again with obsessive eating, obsessive processed sugar. So I knew when I would remove the alcohol in my life, then I would create more room to observe my impulses. And it was hard, man. It was real hard, because it cost me a lot, but the price that it cost me was way less than what it is bringing me, because I'm starting to know myself better and better. I'm starting to love myself more, and I feel really inspired to go further on that path, and maybe be a light for others also. But of course that's only possible when you can find the light in yourself. And so 4 years ago it was the clear decision that I made. I'm not gonna drink anymore, I'm not gonna do drugs anymore. Then the gambling addiction came. Then I knew even more that I have to be real mindful of what I let into my system. Because when you are triggered like that, then of course you have to deal with it and work with it and find a way. But when you surround yourself with all the stimulants, then yeah, the trigger would be always there. So I let go of the gambling addiction. Then my relationship ended because my ex-wife was sick of it all, and of course I understand that now. It hurt. It was the most painful thing in my life. We were together for 20 years. After that I went sick. Everything was coming out of my system, and then I started eating fruits. And when I hardly couldn't move anymore because my energy was so low, I was in such a deep place, such a dark place. I was mean towards my children, I was mean towards myself. I couldn't look into the mirror because there was so much judgment, and my body wasn't working anymore the way I wanted. I had asked too much of it, and yeah, that brought me on the path of fruits. I was desperate. I met an online raw vegan coach, and he asked me what I was eating. I shared it a bit, and he said, "Oh, do you want to feel better?" I said, "Yeah, of course." He said, "All right, skip all the processed stuff and start eating more fruits." So I end up eating like 5 bananas the next day, and some melons and a bunch of smoothies. Really let go of the scarcity mindset. And I eat so much fruit that day was the first day in a long row that I felt a spark again. I felt a bit of light entering my system, and something clicked. I knew I was on something that was working for me. So yeah, 3 years later I'm still raw. I've learned a lot. I'm becoming a detox coach and studying iridology. Yeah man, it is a beautiful journey, and I'm real grateful for everything that happened. I am in a good relationship with my ex-wife now. We are on good terms, we are helping each other a lot. We do drink teas sometimes, we visit each other when we drop off our kids, and I'm really proud of that. I don't know if I would be able to accomplish such a relationship after everything that happened, if I would still be drinking, if I would still be gambling, if I would still eating all that junk or doing drugs, because I wouldn't have been in so good contact with myself. There would always be something in between my soul and my emotions and there would be always a blur. That was the word I was looking for. So it isn't easy. I'm not saying in this video you must stop drinking or stuff like that, but when you want to create more clarity in your life, the first thing I would let go is alcohol, and then just trust the journey of your soul, because alcohol is poison. It is causing your mind to do stuff that isn't aligned with your higher purpose. When you stop drinking alcohol, your whole system get a chance to settle down, and that will create more room for you to grow on your self-loving journey. So yeah, just sharing a bit. Not sure if I'm gonna post this, but I felt like sharing, and yeah, I'm gonna review it, and when I think it can help one person, then I will share it, because yeah, of course there are still a lot of people searching for a way out of it. And when you are still drinking, that's, yeah, I believe that it's almost impossible to accomplish. It would be shallow. It wouldn't be as deep as I'm experiencing right now. For me, at least. I'm not sure. Everybody is different, of course, but yeah, I'm really glad I let go of alcohol. I'm glad that I have let go of gambling and the processed foods and everything that I'm doing right now, that I am doing that. So yeah, just me sharing some gratitude. Reach out if you need some support or somebody to listen. Of course, you can join my free school community, but that's really focused on raw veganism. But yeah, you are always welcome there. Right? Take care. Bye.